This recording is to show the OIC feature set for object storage. So there are two parts to this. One is creation of bucket and the other is how it makes it easy to upload objects to that particular bucket. So we'll start with the first one where we are going to create an application integration that will be kicked off by an external REST call. So this will be triggered and we're naming it as bucket create, very simple name. We will define a REST trigger for this. So the endpoint will essentially take a bucket name and it will create a new bucket. So we are appropriately calling it bucket create. And for the action, we are going to do a post action. This is to the relative resource URI, which is called /bucket create. So once we have set it to post, because we are going to make change to the underlying resource, we also provide a parameter, and that parameter, as I said earlier, is only the bucket name, which is set to the type string. Now, once we've done this, we are now ready to add the action. So we basically can go to the action palette and drag and drop the OCI object widget from there, and it immediately pops up this wizard where we can provide a name to this particular action and then say that we want to manage buckets. And if you see, it shows the actions that are available. We pick up create bucket and specify a compartment. Once we've done that, that's all that is sort of needed to be done. Now we do the mapping. So in the mapping, pretty straightforward. We just take the bucket name that will come from the external REST call and map it to the call that we are making to the OCI object storage. So we map the bucket name to the name, and that's it. So we validate, we'll save this particular mapping, and then we will define or add the business identifier. So business identifier, simply we are taking here the bucket name and putting it as the business identifier field. Once we've done that, we save this particular integration, and now we're going to activate this. So we go ahead, we set it to debug because this is a demo, this is not production. And once we've done that, we find that it is active. We can now do the run of this particular integration. So when we click on run, it will show us the OIC test console, and in the OIC test console, we will provide the bucket name. So here is the list of buckets that are in this particular compartment. And as you can see here, there is only HCM bucket, ERP bucket, and a bucket that is called as scripts. Okay, so there is no other bucket here. We go ahead, we create a new bucket. So we will name it as OCW demo bucket, and we will click on run. So when we do this, OCI will accept, and it will provide us a 202 accepted response. We don't get any JSON packet or something that we really want to show here. So when we look at message processed, it's gone ahead and created a new bucket that provides the OSID. And if we refresh the screen here, you will now see that the bucket has been created and it's named as OCW demo bucket. It's an empty bucket. So, our bucket is now created. So that's how easy it is to use OIC to do object storage bucket actions. Now, let's look at the second one where we are going to upload the an object to that particular bucket. So in this particular case, we're creating again a new integration. This will again be triggered from external source. So we'll call this a store file, and we will again define a trigger. This time, what we are going to do is again we will use the post action, but apart from the bucket name, we'll also provide the file name that we want to upload. So we'll call this particular resource as store file and then use the post action. And in the post action, we'll provide parameters. We'll also configure request payload. The request payload is essentially the file data that we are going to upload. So we provide the bucket name, a string, and then the actual object name. This will be the file name, any file name that you want to upload. Once we've done that, we will now provide the request payload type. So that's going to be binary because it's a file that we cannot determine beforehand. So once we've done this, we are now going to drag and drop the object palette, the object store action. And if you see here, we'll say upload file, and we go ahead and use manage objects this time. So we will select upload object as the operation, and that's it. So nothing else to be done. It generates whatever code is needed to be done at this point in time. And we'll go ahead, we'll do the mapping. And the mapping this time is again pretty straightforward. We will use the bucket name and the object name. But this time we also have something called the stream reference. This is the binary data or reference to the binary data that needs to be uploaded. Now, once this is done, we validate and we go ahead and save the mapping. Now, once we've saved the mapping, we can now go ahead and add the business identifier. So for business identifier, this time we're going to use both bucket name and object name as the business identifier that will allow us to do the monitoring in the monitoring console. Once we've done this, we save and we come back. We'll go ahead and activate this. Since again this is a demo, we'll set it to debug. We'll go ahead. Once the activation is done, we should have it available for testing. So when we test this, we will go ahead and click run, which loads the OIC test console. Now, like last time, we'll provide the bucket name. So this time we'll give OCW demo bucket. Now this bucket is already existing. We've seen that in the first part of the demo. We will provide an object name. Now this object name is what will be used as the file name to save this particular file. And the file will actually use the body to choose the file. So in this particular case, we are going to go and pick up the Red Bull Racing JPEG, so you know what's coming. And we click on run. So once we do the run, again we get a 202 accepted, which means OCI has accepted this particular action on the object store, and we can refresh the activity stream here to see that our processing is completed and the message has been processed. So let's go back and look at the actual bucket. So if we refresh here, which didn't have anything, we will now see there is a new JPEG file called f1.jpg, and we can actually go ahead and sort of download this. And if we download, we'll see the image, which is the Oracle F1 image. So that's the demo, which shows the upload, how easy it is to interact with the object store from OIC. I hope this has been useful to you. Thanks for watching and listening. See you. Bye.